Alright, so we're gonna try it this way. This is my first time playing Sine Mora. I got this game years ago. Never touched it. Uh, I think it's an upshooter. I was really surprised the grasshopper manufacturer. That was cool. That's exciting. I was like, why did I play this? And yeah, I got two screens. One far less latency than this one, but you know, you gotta work with what you got. And right now, I got the camera attached to a small cord. So I got the camera, I got the game, everything's hooked up, everything's running. It's been a long time since I've done this. I'm really excited about the new setup. Uh, Running OBS. I am not doing Corsairs
Tipikusan
sound
olyan
system,
ember vagyok, aki vizet prédikál,
whatever
de
that was
közben
called.
bort iszik.
I know
A
it's a
türelem
little loud. I know it's a
fontosságáról
little loud.
szerettem volna
I can probably
beszélni, hiszen ez az alapköve az emberi
I could probably tune it
kapcsolatoknak,
down
a jó
just a little
házasságnak.
bit.
És ez az a tulajdonság, ami talán a leginkább hiányzik a ma emberéből. A
But yeah,
türelemről. Pedig én magam az
this
időt
is fun.
tartom a legnagyobb
This
ellenségemnek.
looks really good. I'm just gonna do
Visítva
this on the
futnék,
fly and try it
menekülnék
this way.
előle valahová. De az
Honestly, I
idő
have a giant
elől
fucking
lehetetlen
backlog.
a szökés.
Like, it's massive. It's a
Ő a
massive
vigyorgó,
backlog. It's a ton of
csontarcú
games I haven't played. I
kazás.
just collected over the years,
És ha
whether
nem is a
free or
lelkemért jön el
whether for a
holnap,
few
eljön
cents, a few
valami
dollars,
másért.
whatever,
Talán csak
whenever.
ezért a monológért. De nem fogja érdekelni őt, készen van-e, késznek érzem-e.
So
Valóban azt üzenném vele, amit végül
now I'm
üzenek.
just trying to click in and
Türelemről
then
prédikálni az ő
enjoy a
árnyékában.
pastime that I kind of abandoned
Demagógia.
over the last, I guess, few years. That's very simple. It's incredibly simple. Subtitles. Let's do subtitles now. The latency isn't that bad. The 360 seems to be running at 60 hertz, not a 59 point, what is it, 94, 97. Yeah, I was having like visual clipping. So fun facts, just in case you need to know the information. It's definitely a 720p console. At upreses, pretty good. I don't know what's doing it. The graphics card, the CPU, don't really know. But it does it really well. It looks really fucking good on a 1080p screen. The screen I have here is really small and condensed. It can do 720, 1080, and 2K. Really good looking. It doesn't tear. It doesn't expand it too much. You know, we're just gonna do full HD. It'll be fun with the screen shake, and this is gonna be really interesting with like all the games that I have having a lot of sound variability. Just over the course of streaming and making good videos over the course of the last 10 years, and just watching streaming services on my TV, I've noticed like just so many products have so much sound variability, like Amazon versus HBO, or like you watch this show on HBO versus that show on HBO, that show on Netflix versus this show on Netflix. Audio is just like so critically important, and yeah, it's been super interesting dialing down. I can use my scroll wheel to modify the game's volume. It's sweet. Sorry, I'm like I'm fascinated by all the shit I'm able to do right now. Yeah, so I got this bad boy. Surprised it's showing up. This is running through an NVIDIA broadcast. Classic red remote. I think it came with the Elite. Not sure, not certain. Maybe I bought it separately. It would make sense that a black remote came with the Elite, but I feel like I've had this forever. I think I've had this since I've had a console. I could be totally wrong, but I've had plenty of Xbox 360 remotes, at least 8 or 9. which is a lot, and I don't really destroy them. I just have them all here. They just collect. And right now they're collecting dust. And this back panel, I had the red one for this controller, and it just doesn't work, doesn't connect. I don't know. I can't explain what's wrong with it. Maybe something's rusted. I don't know. The batteries are in there. It's connected. Slotted in correctly. It sits right. It looks perfect. You can't turn the controller on. You just hit the button over and over and over and over and over and over. I was trying everything. I was just trying to, hit it softer, hit it harder, push two side buttons, whatever works. And no, that wasn't happening. So I just went through one by one through all my battery cases, and I just tested, looked for one that worked, and two of them don't. The red one and a different black one, but this black one does. And these are brand new batteries. So Sine Mora. I've already forgotten the buttons. I think it was A and B, primary, secondary, something like that. Okay. But I've heard good things about this game over the course of the years. People say this game is really, really good. People really, really enjoy the action. People think the sci-fi story was kind of attractive, kind of fun. I'm totally blaring in my own ears, so if I'm pausing awkwardly, it's because I can hear myself when I'm freaking out. I'm just like a dog. I'm just like, but I do what I do. Obviously, we're starting from the beginning. I could get my ass kicked over and over for the course of 3 hours, but I just don't think that's very productive. So we're just gonna do normal, and we're gonna see if I can run through this. And usually normal has a
Ha az
qualified difficulty.
időutazás képességével születtél, az első dolog, amit meg kell
Damn, this game
tanulnod
has good
az,
audio, like
hogy nem
great
lehetsz
audio.
adott időpillanatban több helyen. Mivel azonban te is halandó vagy, alaposan meg kell fontolnod, mikor és hol teszed,
If I'm
amit
not mistaken,
teszel.
Grasshopper
A második
Manufacturer
dolog,
is a
amit
Japanese
nem árt
company,
észben tartanod,
and
a
this is
képességet
definitely
tartsd
Russian.
hatalom nélkül, akár csak a harag.
So
A
it's really
hatalmat
cool,
pedig
really interesting.
Szeul, a legjobb
Yeah,
irodalom
I'm not
képviseli és
cued in
gyakorolja.
on my foreign languages.
Az
I don't have the
enkik
best listening ear.
mindkét alapszabályról megfeledkeztek.
Uh,
Örökké tartó háborúnak
this is
hívták a vallépésüket,
definitely some
de
kind of Northern
szánalmas
Asian,
ellenállásuk nem
Ukrainian, or
tartott
Russian.
örökké.
Um,
Ábrándbérc bukásával ért véget.
Just talking off the cuff. Sorry, I totally didn't even pay attention. I was just listening. I was just listening to a bunch of nothing. You must give due consideration not only to when and where you do things, but also what you do while there. It's very Back to the Future. Second thing to bear in mind is that your gift, like rage, is meaningless without power. Yeah, all power on Seoul, Korea, lies in the hands of the Leal Empire. The Yankees have disregarded Bolton principles. They labeled the rebellion an internal war. Though the resistance certainly failed to live up to that title, it all ended with the fall of the Mirage Mine. Yeah, something about the King's Speech, like, I have really bad stutter, very, very, very bad issues. Yeah, gone too far. But the point is, hearing myself, I can speak more fluidly. It's really interesting. I mean, there's still a little bit of like surprise for myself, pausing, but I speak more coherently. I'm not, no. Above Mirage Mountain, I covered minor information. Let's see if I cover ammunition or anything. But yeah, it's the Razor key. It's running. It's a Keo Pro. This device has been super reliable. You can connect just about any cord to it. It'll run, especially other Razer cords. Other Razer cords, it just seems to catch it, understand, run. I've never been able to update the firmware. It always asks me or tells me, I guess the word is prompt. It prompts me to ask Razer support, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna go way to do that. That's kind of mental. So I guess it's a side shooter. My bad. But I knew it was a shoot 'em up. Shoot down enemies to add time to the counter. If you get hit or collide, you receive a time penalty. Each stage has several checkpoints where the timer is reset. Your time mass will be stabilized. Goal is to get to the next checkpoint. Okay. Oh, this is smooth. This feels good. I like this game already. But yeah, this is watching this on OBS is definitely gonna have an impact on how. We'll see if the audio comes out as clear as I think it is. And I don't know if it's a little bit too loud that I'm getting to the ears and I'm contributing to a bit of an echo. Hope I'm not. But that's nice to know the audio's going through. Having it on monitoring 100% of the time is super useful to me. But I'm gonna do a game run. I'm gonna play a bunch of games. And yeah, in general, most of the games I'm not gonna play all the way through. I'm just gonna put a few hours or maybe a few half hours into it, and see if I like the game. And give it a rating. I mean, I've played enough video games historically to just gauge the quality of the product and whether or not it's worth your time and effort. And fairness is super critical for it. I didn't get a kill. That I'm kind of disappointed. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. Stop weapon. That fixed everything. I should have paid attention to the tutorial. The weapon does a lot of damage.
Falka, zárkózzatok fel! Szórjuk meg kicsit ezt a levegő elődöt. Falka vezér, 22-es, 21-es és 9-es fedez! Ennél a sebességgel felkerülünk az állófalára, aktiválom az időküzőt!
People are still looking for historical games. And I definitely think Sine Mora qualifies, just based on its significance to the Xbox 360. Select route.
Pozitív 22-es. Időtűzér aktív. Indulunk.
It's Grasshopper for manufacturer. I mean, come on. I know it's just to shoot 'em up, but like. I'm gonna get in my own way. Time capsule so you can do days. Okay, so but how long does it elapse? That's really satisfying. That feels really good. The game looks great. Not exactly the most advanced graphics, but it's really smooth. It's really smooth, and it's semi. What's the word I'm looking for? The art design, the art direction. It's not realistic. It looks like it's intended to look like what it's look like. And yeah, it's a pretty game. I enjoy the style. The style is nice. And the sound is so good. The sound is so satisfying. I don't even have like the most quality headset you ever seen before. The sound in this game is phenomenal. I love the sound design, sound direction, the recordings, the style. It just sounds.
604, 112, 12.
I can kind of imagine hearing it through the big speaker. That's a little terror. I don't know whether or not that's intentional. It sounds like a little like overblown as opposed to intentional. It's too bad I can't just like skip to the end of the game and play the best of hits, you know?
És ezt
So
majd
I'm
2
gonna miss
milliárd birodalmi
big
polgár
swathes of these
ünnepelheti.
games.
De itt halt meg a fiam
Unfortunately,
is,
it's a necessary
aki
thing in order
Kobolt
to bring to the
király
backlog.
negyedik
You gotta
bombát-szállító gép pilótája volt,
re-enjoy gaming. You gotta consolidate
és
the
aki valami
experience down
elképzelhetetlen. A
into
harci
that
repülés
essence
történetében
that brought
példátlan
you there in the
dolgot
first
tett.
place. You gotta distill. You gotta
Megtagadta
distill
a
to the
parancsot.
core experience, you know,
A
and play
híradások
games because I
szerint
love
a
the game. And
másodpilóta a helyszínen főbelült.
unfortunately, that means things are
Egy
gonna fall
birodalmi
by the
apa
wayside,
valószínűleg
you know.
összeroppant
But
volna
maybe
a
I'll hold back
hazaárulás
to a few
hallatán, és
games. Not really
elsüllyedt
sure.
volna szégyenében. Én azonban csak egy kollaboráns apa vagyok. Egy másodrendű polgár, akihez egy...
I still love the sound design. I'm just gonna talk about that forever and forever and forever. And this game sounds so good. Well, the thing was that weird tearing sound during the little air storm. When at a point,
Az örökkétartó háború,
called the
de
Eternal War
főként
must be
Ábránd
the
Bérc bombázása.
but to be realistic, the
Gyakorlatilag
bombing and
leradírozta
Rajman all but
nemzetünket a
wiped our
térképről.
nation off the map. Since the
De
war broke out,
kitörése
more than 2
óta több
million
mint
ancients
2
have vanished,
millió
bodies shaped to
enkitűnt
kill stormtroopers,
elnyomtalanul.
and
Birodalmi csapatok
collaborationists,
és kollaboráns
headhunters
fejvadászok
dragged them away.
hurcolták el
Women,
őket.
men, and children
Öregeket
alike
és
rarely figure it.
fiatalokat, nőket,
Stated in them
férfiakat,
whenever research
gyerekeket.
base might point us to the
A
location
monetai
and how we may be able to
kutatóbázis
help them.
anyagai
We shall
adhatnak
take every
választ
measure, no
arra,
matter how few our
mi
numbers may
történt
be.
velük, és hogy mit tehetünk.
Collaborationist. Fun words, big words. Stage, I-1A. You're at a point.
Ito, itt Riad. Az ároknál vagyunk. Megkezdjük az ereszkedést. Szerencsét, Akita. A
Yeah,
peremvidék aktivitása a
cute. It's a cute game.
várakozásainknak
It's pretty.
megfelelően. Csapok
Not
egy kis
cute.
zajt, hogy eltemeljem
I'm
a
denigrating
figyelmet
it, but like it's got a nice style. I've always kind of been a fan of Galaga and Centipede. Honestly, I can't even think of any shooters right now on the fly, besides those 2 games, because I'm just like so into this right now. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, this is super satisfying. I could see this game getting really, really hard. You know what I was thinking of? Aegis Wing. Aegis Wing is another cool sideways shoot 'em up. Shoot 'em side? I don't know. Aegis Wing, I'm going to really game ago with the achievements. I fucking love that game. Aegis Wing is awesome. Aegis Wing is great. I think it's Xbox Studios.
Milyen fura
There
dolgod?
was like a demo made by some guys making Halo or something,
Ne haragudj,
and
hogy
they
a
were making like
marhaságaival
a semi
támadtalak.
full game.
Nem szar fekete győztem! Nem képzelődtem!
And the game really spoke to me. So this game is
Akita, hallod?
just as good as that game. I get wrecked on easy mode. I'm not really sure where my health meter is. Yeah, no, like looking off OBS and actually looking at the screen that I'm supposed to be looking at, it's definitely too. It's got a little bit of a blur to it, like in
Mi a szent faszt meg a kurva életbe?
zappiness for buffer.
Dögölj már meg!
Okay, so each time you get hit, you can lose your power-ups, so that's seems fine. No. So I lost a bunch of firepower earlier. That's why I'm shooting so crappy. This game is punishing. This game is punishing. On hard, this game would be insane. This is Cuphead-esque. I mean, this predates Cuphead. Stage 2B, Bokumono Undersea Prison Facility 5255-8. IN Pilot Renotrakos. Subweapon Punk Spirit. Guess that's the name of the laser beam? Or is this a different one? Punk Spirit, I'm underwater now, I'm probably in a different ship.
Aknozár. Remélem, hogy több lesznek, Ghost.
There's so the ones that I get close to activate. That's fun. It looks really good on OBS. I can like distinguish the colors and things from one another, but on my more high quality monitor, everything kind of blurs together. It's really dark, it's really high contrast. I'm really surprised, or maybe it's just the setting that are on that monitor right now. But yeah, there seems to be so you go through some easy stuff, and you collect your assets, and then you get to a boss again, and you hope you kept enough stuff in order to, whoop its ass. Or you die. But on normal, it seems like you don't get punished too badly, and if you're kind of skilled, you can survive with the shoots, which is good. This is a good balance. You don't want the game too hard, especially. You want to incentivize enjoyment. I mean, you kind of get punished for hitting walls. You can kind of tell what you can interact with and where you need to stand, where you need to be. To me, that's very satisfying. Yeah, it took me so long to finally play this game. Oh, things bounce off the walls. I don't know why I didn't notice that earlier. Yeah, this game feels good. This game feels super, super tight. Is there a pattern to this? Am I gonna regret this decision? Surprised it didn't get whooped right there. Instant annihilation laser beam. I like that mechanic. I like that. You gotta burn through the screen, collect time, or you get punished and sent back. The other shot you get. It could be infuriating if it was too difficult, and when some level need. In some dynamic, is what I mean. In some dynamic, difficulty is necessary to enhance the experience, give players more to look forward to. But everything needs to be tested. Everything needs to is this fair? Can anybody do it? Is this necessary? Yeah, which it actually kept firepower through the course of the map. I'm a lot stronger than I was last time. I'm a lot more scared. I'm doing a lot more damage. Yeah, I'm burning through the boss fight a lot tougher than the last one. Last one seemed to have much less health and faces. Oh, that's cool. Destroying the gun, destroyed the bullets. The torpedoes. It's interesting. You're in the middle of panicking and you just accidentally kill armament and everything else dies and you get to chill out. Oh, this is classic. This is very classic. Whoa, 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 I see what's happening.
Remélem, hogy az informátorom helyesen lokalizált, mert nincs kedvem ártatlan embereket ölni. Ha vannak egyáltalán ártatlanok. Okumon, az ördög segítjával.
Yeah, the contrast on my Nexus is maybe it's too high, maybe it's too low. Sometimes I can't tell myself matters. It's just like, what does contrast mean? Do you think it'd be like the distinguishing factor line between what is dark and what is light? And sometimes contrast actually like makes things clash and collide. You never really know what a contrast setting does. And I have a very odd feeling that different manufacturers actually program it oppositely. I don't know whether or not that's a fact, but I'm like pretty certain that's a fact because like sometimes I turn it up and it's like that helps, and so turning it up and it's like what the fuck is happening? You know, it's getting worse. I don't understand that. But yeah, I feel like I can achieve a Stalker Black. As you can see, I got these borders. You have the game. It's running in like letterbox, and then that's also the 360 screen. This little black gutter. I think there's a different word for it. I'm using comic logic, but yeah, these outside letterbox, the gutters are running by. It's a starker black. Still a little incorrect. I don't know if there's a 316 that will allow you to modify that, but there is on most modern TVs, and the Xbox One, you can modify that, and I'm pretty sure on the PS5 you can modify that. On the Nintendo Switch, you cannot modify that. I tried really hard. Yeah, Jesus, this is a good looking game, and it's really satisfying, and just feels instantly classic. Like I missed a piece of history, you know. I don't know many people haven't played Sine Mora, but this game is good. Things are getting interesting as I see now. Blackmailed her. You blackmailed her. It's not a good look. It's cute. It's like after the fact, sort of like, yeah, storytelling through text, which is like a representation of like really archaic game design. But sometimes it's a necessary sin. You can add to the game. Yeah, for some people, a lot of words is kind of like a draw. And some people it's a draw away. Some people are just really unattracted to that. For me, English major, I read, you know, and I read a lot. Damn, this thing is. It looks like I don't sleep, but I think it's an acne rash. Tripping out. Oh yeah, that's definitely an acne rash. Yeah, I'm putting glasses on my face, and my son's been touching my face with this saliva all over his hands. The soundtrack is speaking to me. It's chill, not quite lo-fi. It's like lo-fi Northeast Asian. I don't even know how to express what that vibe was, what that sound was. Something was very Japanese about it.
Szomorúan hangzik, de te leszel a Csami. Húzd szépen magadra a teljes védelmi hálót.
És utána elengedsz? Akkor elengedsz?
Yeah, this is great looking game. It's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy, so some people are definitely gonna hate that. Yeah, maybe I were to turn the sharpness up. I don't know if it's supposed to be quite so fuzzy, but there's something very ethereal about it, artistically, and I don't know whether or not they can touch it. Was that a dude on a rock fishing? I'm so confused. That just, oh, that feels so good, so satisfying. I think just an icon of my character's face in the corner. It looks kind of cool, kind of weird, kind of creepy. Make battleship still I'm seeing the Greek mythology. Let's go. I totally didn't pay attention at all to the last two boss fight names. Boss names. Mid-boss. Oh, this is gonna have a lot of mid-bosses.
Látom a tornyot erős légvédelem.
But I mean, playing video games for some years, I've always enjoyed this sort of metacognitiveness of the fact that you're playing this character and maybe this character is hyped up or maybe this character is weak, but it's ultimately your experience. So who they are is projected by you onto it, and who they are is projected onto you by them. So it was reflexive. It's very interesting, and I always thought like sometimes game narratives kind of self-destruct and destroy themselves based on like, oh, this character's badass, but I fucking suck, or I'm super good and this is supposed to be their first time, and this doesn't make any sense. But I mean, it's a necessary thing. Ultimately, you have to pay. You have to pay ways in order to get, some kind of plot structure, written design to a product that is ultimately based on gameplay. Because video games are a collaborative medium, just like film, but the whole point of a video game isn't all story. Is with the film, with the book. Uh, Gee, yeah, I was gonna come up with other medium, but I can't think of anything. The point is the story being told and presented, and everything in the symbolism of the way you direct and cut a film, the way you shoot the film, the way you light the film, the way you grade and colorize. Ultimately, it's all to serve the narrative. But with the video game, not everything is to serve the story. There's a lot of elements that are necessary to serve the gameplay because part of a video game is the game, right? And ultimately, sometimes you get great games with bad narratives, like Celeste, and then sometimes you get great narratives with bad gameplay. Um, Great narrative with bad gameplay. Let me think. Great narrative with bad gameplay. I know I've played something like that, but I'm like. I was Tomb Raider reboot, 2011, 2009. I don't know what year that game came out. I fucking love that game. Um, but great narrative. Love the character. Love the reboot of the character. Love the redesign of the character. But the mechanics were pretty simple. This is a straightforward third-person shooter. I mean, the puzzle rooms were awesome. You're just sniping people with a bow, and hitting people with a pickaxe. And you felt way too strong. It's like, oh, this is her first time surviving. She's a fucking serial killer. Like, it felt very silly and ironic. Yeah, great story. Uh, not not bad gameplay, just like, those elements, they clash. They clash. They're ironic. They don't work together. They're self-defeating. And for somebody who's new to video games, uh, that would really, really work. But for somebody who's like me, who's played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, you got to justify to the player a reason for why that experience works. Um, is she talented? As she go to a prep school? Was she trained with a bow? Why is she so badass? Like, why is she so good at this? Uh, she's a smart girl, explorer father, survivalist. Not supposed to be reviewing a different game outside of Sine Mora right now, but you see what I'm getting at. Like sometimes you got great gameplay, bad narrative. Sometimes you got great narrative, unfunctional or poor gameplay. Um, I don't think of like a game that was like I distinctively didn't like playing it, but the story was good. And I can't really think of anything. It's like in general, like if gameplay is bad, I'm not gonna get through the experience. So it's like, why? How could I tell if the story was good? Um, but if the gameplay is really, really good, really functional, then of course, like I can burn through the game and like the narrative is an afterthought for me, the player, and then I can determine whether it was an afterthought for the creator, right? It's like, oh, that was kind of slapped together, or like that was poorly written, or like these characters don't make sense, or those plot effects are silly, they're gimmicks, they don't quite work, materialize correctly. Um, right? Because there's a math to the logic of the way we react to situations, scenarios, and some writers are weaker than others. Uh, this is fun so far. I would call this great gameplay. It's simple gameplay. It's classic. It's not gonna blow tons of people away. Um, it's twitchy. It's fun. It's dynamic. You feel a level of power. Um, yeah, let me turn off my echo for a second. Yeah, okay. Just to keep it going. And it allowed me to keep a homogeneous volume by hearing myself, but yeah, just get a little bit more naturalistic. Um, yeah, this game is gonna speak to some people very deeply, and there are other people who are instantly gonna pass over this because they know exactly what they're looking at, what to expect. I mean, hundreds of these games exist, and if you exist as a human being and you've touched a video game at some point in time in your life, you're gonna be forced to touch a classic. You're gonna be forced to touch a game that came from the period of the like 75 to like 85. Those early uh, arcade games. Uh, dead serious. Uh, I can't name the year the Galaga came out, that Centipede came out. Uh, and that's critical. It's important, and I should know that. Yeah, okay, 75 to 85. Centipede came out in 81, 83 in Japan. Well, I'm not too bad at my history apparently. Apparently I know something. I've played hundreds of video games. I went to school, I went to university. But yeah, no, my memory and times are not a strong suit of mine. Um, I fucking love Centipede. I could talk about Centipede for days. Uh, I don't know how many levels I've passed through, but and I really don't know what there is to talk about Centipede. I just know that I can start saying the same thing over and over about Centipede because I really enjoy Centipede. And this game is really reminiscent to me of those classic shoot 'em ups, but more specifically Age of Swing. And I don't know if it predates Age of Swing. Let's see. Age of Swing is 2007, and then Sine Mora game came out in Sine Mora came out in 2012. Okay, so there's a hierarchy here. There's uh, an ancestry. So this Sine Mora may have in some ways been inspired by Age of Swing, um, regardless of whether or not they directly impact each other. They're part of the same genre, and there's a discourse going on naturally between the two, whether or not they consent to it. Um, and this game, having played and survived all of Age of Swing, just like absolutely loving that game. This game is right off the bat just so naturally, just it feels good. It's just like instantly, I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10. This is a great game. It's functional. It's not, and when I say functional, I don't mean like semi-functional. Like for me, the greatest compliment I can give to a piece of fiction or to a movie or to a video game, and both specifically with video games, when I say functional, is I'm talking about gameplay. Is it 100% work? Are there no bugs? Is there anything intrusive about the way that you play the game that kind of falls back on the player and is a detriment to the way that they endure the gameplay experience, right? Do things chop up? Are things fair? If I push a specific set of buttons, do I accidentally break the game? This is ultimately the game needs to run and it needs to play. So frame rate, graphics, you need to be able to see things, you need to be able to interpret what you're doing on the screen, and then yeah, actual button machinations. Is it justifiably fair to play on a controller? Like some people, it's different, there's a skill when it comes to video games, right? And different people have held controllers for different periods of time, and ultimately, a more complex control scheme is only going to be wielded and mastered by people who are more comfortable with the controller in their hands. Um, so you do occasionally, there's a right, I think, for the critiquer to critique the way that it feels in hand. And then on top of that, what do the buttons do on the screen? And how do different inputs mix and match and kind of interfere and create something new on the screen? And then how do you interact with the game world outside of your avatar, outside of your character? And what does that result in as an experience? And this game is incredibly, incredibly satisfying so far. It's a, huh. There's a little bit of artifacting on my screen. I totally picked a bad direction to go. Okay, so that's interesting. So when you use your time powers, I don't know what I just got hit by, but that punishment is super bad. I guess you can't get hit by enemy attacks. I was still trying to dodge. I thought I was just slowing things down, but it looks like it kind of makes you like immune to damage. But yeah, I got an interesting like artifact in the bottom right. So just put the A and B select and back, like when I'm off the menu. It doesn't seem like it's showing up in the recording, but on my screen I can still see that. It's like a screen smear, screen stain. It's like it looks like burn-in. So there are perhaps minor issues with the game, or maybe it's just how old my 360 is. Because it's just an old console, and this boy is not in use 100% of the time. Yeah, it's a little. There's smears from that menu. I missed it. Oh, it was terrible. I wanted that. Yeah, it's that tearing is like, ew. I don't know if the game's like that. I doubt it because like people always talk about the quality of this game, not to, sheeple and fall in line like, oh, this is a great game because I heard people say it's a great game. No, like I genuinely feel like this game is great. And so just assumption based on the quality of the gameplay mechanics and just the way that everything runs, like it doesn't seem to me like they would make such a minor errors to have remnants like drift and stain the screen. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm not really sure what's causing that. I might be tripping out. Maybe it's like burning on my monitor, and it doesn't have anything to do with the recording. That is super interesting. That is like tripping me out. Yeah, that's like, sorry, I'm totally off topic. Just playing the game, just reviewing it, and now I'm like trying to fix my experience on the fly. It's not super embarrassing. This is my first time trying this style. I didn't think I'd be trying to burn through games that I've never touched before. And I didn't know what my first game was going to be, honestly. I didn't even think this process through other than like I know what I need to do in order to get it going and running, and then what happens from there happens. And I just I had I got hurt real bad. I had no expectations that my first game was going to be Sine Mora. It's kind of frustrating that they die, you can get hit by their guts. I don't like that. It's not fun. It's like I just want it to be done, like and I can walk through. Yeah, it caught me off guard and it punished me for not knowing the level. It's a very Mega Man style game design. It's very Japanese, in my opinion. Very honestly kind of reminiscent of like horror games also. They like punish the player for not having things memorized in advance. Things are a little bit too fast, too quick, too agile to know in advance. And I can't shoot the bile either, which is really annoying. Or the parts of the stomach acid, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't. It's so weird. It's so weird, and you just hit the floor and walls. So I drove into the wall on purpose in case you didn't know. It wasn't an accident. I was just testing things. Very satisfying. I know there's going to be more weirdness and awkward machinations down the way. I'm totally going to get punished for not having any firepower. This is going to be a long boss fight. I haven't even pushed B in a while. I don't even know what B did in the underwater section. I don't think I pushed B once. That is a lot of sections. Jeez. That is a lot of guns, sir. Oh, I guess I am getting hit. I'm not really sure. Yeah, you can get hit while you're traveling through time. I don't know why I felt like I couldn't earlier. Maybe there's like a leniency on the hitbox.
Triádi, tudat. A hordára helyén,
Alright,
ismétlem
train
a
one
hordára
down.
helyén. A kommandósok parancsnoka szerint legalább 200 egységnyi időre van szükségük, mert fogalmunk sincs, mit keresünk. Csináljátok!
Game looks way better now that I've modified the contrast. I still have like a little bit of that screen burn that looks kind of ugly. But I'm doing a pass-through on a capture card, so there's no guarantee that there's homogeny between what I see on one screen and on the other screen. Because at some point in time, it's got to go into the computer and then back out to the monitor I'm using to play on. This isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be without firepower. I'm very satisfied at the pace. Oh. I like the games where like you get shoot in advance when things are popping up before they can even respond to you, before they can shoot you themselves, like you could shoot them. I've always enjoyed that. You can't even remember what specific games I played that were shoot 'em ups that had that. This game obviously doesn't. This is kind of like I'm shooting at nothing and I'm like I'm so ready to be shooting stuff in advance and I can't even touch it. It's kind of sad to me. There's honestly a big point of satisfaction for me is shooting things in advance just because I'm wise and aware enough as a player being actively engaged with the game that like I have this advantage because I'm paying attention and I'm playing your game and I'm into it thoroughly, so I should be rewarded for that. But this game is like no, hold on, wait your turn.
Itt urák, összecsomagoltunk, ismétlem összecsomagoltunk. Elindulunk a felszín felé. Kitűnő munka!
Egyetlen embert se veszítettünk a monetai akció során. De elvesztettünk egy egész civilizációt. A bázison talált tudományos eredmények és dokumentumok mindannyiunkat elborzasztottak. A birodalmiak, hogy irányított időtechnológiát állítsanak elő, minden enkifoglyot kiégetnek. Megfosztanak minden érzékszervétől, hogy könnyen kezelhető legyen. Ezek a süket néma, vak és idegeiktől megfosztott lények már nem különbek a monetai barlangok férgeinél. Leszámítva az álmaikat.
Alright, we're gonna cut it right there. That was fun. 3 stages? Yeah. This was a good game. I enjoy this. As much as part of me does know that I want to come back to this. This is getting uninstalled. This is great. On the fly review score. We're going to make the scale big so I can be as accurate as possible. We're going to go 0 to 100. I know I'm only eating a portion of the game, a small portion. Like this game, chapter 2. I wonder how many chapters there are.
Múlt és jövendő.
I don't know how
Nem
long this
sok
game is.
értelme ezeknek a fogalmaknak, ha
But
mindenütt
strictly
jelen
based on
tudnak
the
lenni.
gameplay, denying
De mégis
plot, denying the way
le
things
lehet élni
end
egy
up.
életet úgy, hogy nem nézünk se hátra, se előre. Csak a jelenre és csak saját magunkra, boldogságunkra és kényelmünkre figyelünk. De hová tűnik, mivé lesz ez a büszke én, ha utódaitok nincsenek? Vagy ha nem rójátok le tiszteleteteket ősapáitok erőfeszítései és hite előtt. Lehetünk világpolgárok, és hirdethetünk bolygóközi békét és közösséget. De felmenőink zászlókért és totemekért ontották vérüket.
Yeah, for me, this is like very instinctively based on my instincts. A very quality game. Haven't run into any typos. Doesn't seem like there's a lack of effort or work put into the quality of the product. It runs great. It runs super smooth, like no hiccups. This was an underused Xbox, honestly. It sat there for a long time. Yeah, seriously underused. Yeah, I don't know what was causing that really ugly screen staining. On a scale of 0 to 100, just based on what I got so far and how much I was enjoying myself. Yeah, I just don't feel like it's fair to give it anything other than 100 because what I got, I enjoyed. It was very satisfying, more than satisfactory. For some reason, it's kind of tweaking on my monitor, but in the recording, it looks fine. Yeah, so we're just gonna hit it 100 and 100, and I'm just gonna keep this series going. I'm gonna hit game by game. As you can see, you're probably gonna see Virtual Fighter next. I enjoyed myself. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you were just looking for gameplay, I mean, hope that satiated you. And if you really wanted to know what the gameplay experience was about or what it was like, uh, the game's good. The game's good. It's worth playing. And if you like shoot 'em ups, this is definitely a shoot 'em up you should touch or at least play. I mean, is what I mean to say is at least touch or play all the way through. The word farts, brain farts all at once. But yeah, 100, 100 out of 100. On to the next.